and welcome to the Jim Bakker Show. I'm your co-host, Tammy Sue Bakker. Today's special guest, Doug Weed, and his wife, Miriam. Now, please give a warm welcome to my parents and the host of the Jim Bakker Show, Jim and Lori Bakker.
Wow, thank you, Tammy Sue Bakker, my lovely daughter, my firstborn child, and all my other kids are around here, and one of my dear friends, one of my best friends. Did you know that we were best friends?
Absolutely.
100 years ago or so, whatever it was, back 30 years ago maybe. And this is the famous Doug Weed. He is a writer. He has written at least 30 books or more. And I was there when the first ones were written.
That's right.
And you are a historian, New York Times bestseller, by the way, but he's considered a presidential historian. And I see you on TV everywhere.
We do. You're always on, so proud.
I see you on Fox a lot because I watch quite a bit of Fox News. Yes. But I see you, and on today's program, and maybe tomorrow's program, if you stay over, we're going to ask you about Trump. Is there any president that's been hated like Trump? Tell me examples. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get into some deep stuff, okay?
All right.
I don't know how many
presidents have you
been associated with?
Yes.
Six is my guess.
Yes, I've met 6, and I've interviewed. Let's see, I've met 7, interviewed 6.
Oh my!
And I've had
plus 19 of the president's children.
That's right. And 14 of their brothers and sisters, their siblings.
Oh my!
Now this is the great historian. I mean,
but
he's
been in the White House with so many presidents and so many situations.
And so have you. And so have you.
But you don't even dare tell everything you know.
Nor do you.
Doug Weed was special assistant to Bush Sr.
Right.
Now, do you remember when Bush Sr. came to see me?
Yes.
This is a test.
Yes, absolutely. And I briefed him before he went in to see you, and I briefed him after your meeting.
Did you set that up?
Yes, those presidents have, like George W. He had, what's the pastor's name down in San Antonio? What's his?
John Hagee.
John Hagee. He had John Hagee stay in the mansion. So, but they set it up in advance, and they plan what they're going to say, what they're going to ask, and they're totally briefed. And so then John Hagee came up, spent the night with him, and I'm sure he went home saying, "Boy, I can't believe the governor said this, the governor said that." So it's choreographed, just like you choreographed. You're a professional, and But Trump just called you. Trump.
I will not reveal what President Bush Sr. talked to me about. I'm not going to tell it.
That's why they all talk to you, because you wouldn't tell anybody the secrets.
But maybe after he dies, if he dies before me, I might.
Hey,
is it all right?
I don't know.
I'll check with you to see if I can. I'll check and see if I can tell about it.
I don't know if you're going to make it, Jim.
I'm 77 years old.
I know, but this guy, he jumps out of airplanes in his 90s.
That's right.
I'll be lucky if I can survive it.
Now, you were advisor to George H.W., right?
Yes.
H.W., right?
Yes.
And
And then George W., see, I was working for George H.W., and they decided to bring George W. into the campaign, and they inserted him right above me. So I was running coalitions, and he was my new boss. And it was March of 1987, and he had just quit drinking, and somebody had given him an Alcoholic Anonymous type of leaflet, and it said, if you're really serious, if you want to quit drinking, you need to believe in a higher power. He did that. And you need to have new friends that don't drink. So it was real important. So I didn't know any of this was going on. So all of a sudden he shows up. He's my boss. He quit drinking, and I don't drink. And so we became close friends. I didn't fully understand why. And I worked right in his office.
People don't understand the rough and tough of politics.
Oh, it's everything you've seen in the movies. Well, you see House of Cards. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I'm sitting on the couch with House of Cards, and I'll get the clicker and I'll stop it and I'll turn to my kids.
You watch it too?
And I'll say yes. I'll say, that really happened. And then I'll tell them who it was. So most of the things I've seen on House of Cards, you can find. Find it's taken from real life.
That's a popular show, by the way. I know you're looking at, what is that? No, that's one of the #1 shows out there right now on Netflix.
Yes.
But you're right.
Talking about
and what it is, Jim, is obviously, you know this because you went through it. You became a target of it. It's power.
Yeah.
So it's power.
Yes.
There's money and there's power.
Would you ever come back and tell the real story of Jim Bakker? You wouldn't dare, would you?
Wow. Yeah, sure I would. That's why I'm here.
Aren't you
I'm
afraid
here. I'm partly
aren't
here.
you afraid to be killed if you?
Well, I'm getting so old now.
Yeah, you're not as old. How old are you?
I'm 71. So
no.
I'm thinking,
I thought you were probably 16 yet. But I mean, we were young friends together. We were in our 20s, I would say. And
old people are dangerous.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
That's a good one.
Yeah, they go after people
because you don't have anything
power.
to lose anymore. And so, and I'm glad.
Yeah.
Because I've said all along, people would kill their mother for power.
Sure.
Especially presidential power.
Well,
and so on the shows this week, I'm going to ask you to talk about our current president, and that is there anybody in history that has been hated as much as him? And we're going to talk, and we're going to get down to some real facts that people don't want to talk about.
And
today.
the answer is yes. Yes, they have. I mean, Lyndon Johnson, you'll remember Lyndon Johnson.
You don't have to answer
Absolutely.
yet.
I'll wait.
I'm just introducing you. I'm just going to introduce you.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because there's so much.
But there's many.
We're going to talk about the statues coming down. You're a historian. Don't answer. He's ready to go. He's also humorous. He's one of the greatest Christian orators ever in history.
Absolutely.
Ever in history.
It's so true.
You've spoken to huge crowds.
And so have you.
Oh, my day is gone, but you're still there. You're right in the middle of all of this.
Look at this. This place is beautiful. This is beautiful.
But you were senior advisor to Ron Paul. I'm just trying to get your introduction out.
Yeah, I got tired of Washington. I got tired of all that stuff. Got tired of one company gets $100 million from the Federal Reserve. Another company gets squat.
Yeah.
One company works the Import-Export Bank. Another company doesn't. One company gets $100 million of taxpayer money from the federal government. Another company doesn't. So then you and I go out here, and we want to start a hamburger joint, and our tax-paying dollars are going to the competition down the street, and they're borrowing money at 0% interest, and we're paying through the nose. That's not free enterprise.
No.
That's not a free market.
Right.
So I got tired of it. So I saw Ron Paul on TV. He was in a debate, and I spit the Cheerios out my nose when he was talking. I thought, who is this old man? What is he doing? There it was again, an old man. I thought, how's he saying that and still living? And I thought, I'm going to get behind this guy, because I didn't agree with everything he said, but a lot of what he was saying, I thought, it's a miracle he's saying this alive on TV, but it's true. It's very corrupt. The system is very corrupt. And that hasn't changed. It's Congo, it's Brazil, it's America, it's human nature.
And this unbelievable hurricane that's going on has been going on. I mean, this horrible flooding and all.
Yes.
I'm going to ask Doug about that. And we've got so much to talk about this week. You are one of the co-founders of Mercy Corps, which is massive. It's just grown and grown and grown and grown. And I knew you back then when you were founding that thing.
That's why I'm here. That's why I wanted to come here, because I wanted to tell Jim Bakker's partners that years ago, in 1979, he had this TV show, and it cost millions of dollars to maintain it at a huge budget. They were under enormous pressure. And the same dollar was being carved up by many ministries, and it was really
That's
tough.
not Doug on the screen, is it?
I don't think so.
Is that Doug Weed?
Yes.
No. Oh, that is.
Oh, it is. That's you right there.
I knew it was.
And that was C.M. Ward in there. You loved him, didn't you?
I loved C.M. Ward.
And that's Jim Bakker with hair, real hair, no wig. That's not a wig. That's a toupee.
And Doug Weed with glasses. So
this is classic.
So Jim Bakker,
wow,
he brought onto his show because there was a crisis going on. Like there's a crisis going on in Houston, the flood. There was a crisis going on in Southeast Asia, and people were starving to death.
Right.
And it broke his heart. And so Jim Bakker brought onto his show Pat Boone and Dan O'Neill, myself. We were getting started launching a program to help these people. Mm-hmm. And Jim said to his audience, I want you to write, and he gave the address. They're trying to start something to help feed these hungry people. Nobody does that. You don't do that, because to get on TV, a ministry like this, you pay millions of dollars to buy the TV time, and you give your own address. And then the money can come in, and some of it can be applied to pay off the TV time, and then you can give it to whoever is doing whatever project you believe in. But you don't put their address up, because if you put their address up, you're not only giving them money directly, you're giving them the name of your partner, and a partner who's inclined to support your particular ministry. It's totally unheard of. I've never seen another ministry ever in all of history ever do that. But Jim Bakker did it, and that money went to start Save the Refugees. In 1979, they changed their name to Mercy Corps, and today they've given $2 billion of food and medicine around the world. And they're one of the world's most famous and most prestigious NGOs in the world. They're everywhere, all over the world, with offices all over the world. That is one of many little things you planted in your generosity and these Disney-esque moments that you would have, your creative moments on TV. And I wanted to come back, make sure you got credit for that, because I've never seen them, nobody gives you credit for it, because they're a big organization, they're international, they're sophisticated, they've got governments all over the world supporting them. So, but they came from humble beginnings, from someone who had a generous heart, which was you.
Oh, amazing.
By giving out your address back then, what happens is you don't just give them some money.
Yeah.
You give them the foundation
of a mailing list.
Of a mailing list. Now, Franklin Graham came one day to my show. I shouldn't talk about these things, but I'm doing it. And there were people sleeping, 3 in a bed and under the bed. They didn't have room in the hospital that he was building in Tinwick, Africa. And so I asked my people, I said, would you all mail some money, some check, to Franklin Graham, and let's add on to this hospital. Let's put more beds in there. Let's keep these people. And
you actually just asked for, I happen to know the story, you actually just asked, because Franklin himself told me the story.
Well, it was one of my secrets. Go ahead and tell it.
But actually what you said was, if everybody that's watching would send just $1.
And we did have a big audience back then.
And I'm sure they sent more than $1, but there are people who are sending
the idea was any person who has any money at all, when they'll say, oh, I can do $1. So they write it out, and that takes a long time, got a stamp, in the old days when all that we had to do. But what they would do, they gave more than what we needed to build in one day.
Yeah.
To build this big addition onto that hospital.
Beautiful.
But here's the thing. I'm in prison.
Oh, yeah.
And Franklin Graham comes to see me every month or so. And I meet his sister.
Gigi Javidian.
Right.
She said, I do the accounting. She said, we marked every person who came through your ministry. And to this day, the biggest percentage of Samaritan's Purse is the foundation you gave. You see, it didn't die. She said, those are still. Is that amazing?
That's amazing.
I just thought of that now.
And that became the foundation of Mercy Corps. That's what Dan O'Neill, that was the list they began with.
So you see, the devil told me when I was in prison that everything was gone. I lost everything, and I, you know, it just ruined by my downfall. It ruined everything, and everything I've done is gone. And that was a lie, because when you give, you help. It's just like Rick Joyner has Heritage USA, has the big grand hotel and all, and it's filled all the time. These people are from all over the world going there.
Yeah.
Huh,
you know?
Is that right?
And so what you do for God and Mercy Corps, I haven't even thought about that.
Yeah, that's great.
In years. I forget any good that I've done. I want to tell you, that's a terrible thing. I know all my sins, but I can't remember my good stuff. You know what I mean? Anybody like that?
Well, that's bad. That's Philippians 4:19. Whatsoever things are honest, just, true, honest, just, pure, lovely, of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things.
Yes, amen.
So that's great.
Now, we literally helped feed a lot of people at that time. I forgot. It was thousands of people.
And the Mark Buntain thing, I'll never forget. This is the genius of Jim Bakker. This is a story I like to tell that people don't believe. We're on the set like this, and Jim Bakker and his partners had bought an ambulance for Mark Buntain, for his ministry.
Some people maybe don't know who Mark Buntain is.
Mark Buntain was this man who inspired Jim to adopt all the, hey, you owe a lot to Mark Buntain, children.
Mark.
But
because Mark Buntain was in Calcutta, India. He's a missionary, and he'd go out on the street, and he'd find somebody on the street and break his heart, little child, and he'd bring him home. They'd come home. They'd come into this home, and it was filled with cots with all kinds of other children that lived with him. And his wife would say, oh, Mark, we don't have room. Oh, but we can't leave this one. And he'd bring another one home. So that was Mark Buntain. And he had this huge ministry in Calcutta, India, and he built the first big hospital there that wasn't a state hospital. In the state hospital, you had to bring a cat to be admitted to the hospital back then because the rats were killing babies in their cribs. So part of your admission to the hospital was a cat to patrol your hospital room. So they built this first hospital. All of Mother Teresa's important people went to that hospital.
Yes.
So he raised money for Mark Buntain for his food program. So now he buys this ambulance for Mark, and he's going to surprise Mark. And Mark's a very emotional guy, tears just flowing down his cheeks as he's thinking, oh, thank you for all the help you've done for me. And Jim is whispering off, and he's saying, get that ambulance in here, get that in there. And the people are coming up and say, Jim, we miscalculated, and we can't get it through the door. The garage door is doing, and Jim would say, get that ambulance in here. So they're scattering off, and they come back in, and they
should
say,
never
Jim,
invite your old friends to come.
He says, I'm sorry, but we can't get it in because he said, you knocked down the wall. Get it in here. So,
now, I don't remember that.
That sounds like Jim Bakker.
So they knock down the wall, and they drive in this ambulance, and Jim is just beaming. He's peaceful, and his staff is all like, what a cost. We spent $20,000 to drive that in here. But he probably raised $100,000 or $200,000 or $500,000 having that ambulance in the studio.
Absolutely.
So I sometimes,
and I believe we gave 2 ambulances then.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I sometimes tell my kids that
and
story.
Blood,
I say, boy,
blood purification equipment.
Knock the wall down if it'll pay. If it pays, knock the wall down.
Now, here's the thing. If you don't see it, you're not going to do it. If you don't see it, you don't understand it. You don't get it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sir.
And so it's my job to illustrate things, and that's why we're talking about what's going on. And today, we need to really help, and I can't believe you're here. I mean, I didn't bring you here to talk about what you just talked about.
Well, we didn't know there was going to be a flood in Houston when we set this up.
And I don't remember the stuff you're telling me just coming back. This Mercy Corps one of the things I remember about it, you invited me to receive an award from Mercy Corps.
Yeah, in the East Room of the White House.
And Rosalind Carter was the co-receiver.
First Lady.
Of that reward, or that award. In the White House. Is that right?
On the stage in
true?
the East Room of the White House. That's right. And it was the week that President Carter sent the helicopters in to try to rescue the hostages.
Oh, my.
Didn't send enough helicopters. That's the only reason President Carter wasn't there when they presented you with that award. Yeah, that's right.
You're recognized today as the great historian of presidencies and of America and all. And I've got so many questions that I'm looking forward to ask you. But one of the things we've got to do today, you know, even though I am a little older than you, I'm
don't rub it in.
I'm making plans right now to fly to Texas. The churches are asking help. My daughter, Maricela, should be on the. She's working and she's on the phone. She's been on the phone to different ministries. Yeah. She just talked to Joe Osteen's people. Yeah. They're asking us for help. They want us to bring in food. The thing about our food that they all want right now is it doesn't spoil. They want milk, but they say if you bring the milk, we don't have refrigeration because the power's out.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking of that when I saw the flood in Houston. I thought of that, and I thought of Noah's Ark when they were all laughing at him for building the ark. And I thought, hey, all those canisters Jim Bakker has of food. Yes. Hey, that's what they need in Houston.
Absolutely.
They float. They float.
Yeah.
Now, one of the cities I just got a call a few minutes ago. One of the cities that everything's underwater.
Don Norton is the one that gave us the
Don wants us to. Yes. Don Norton wants us to fly in right now. Yeah. I'm going to bring James. He doesn't know it yet, and Ricky. They're bringing the cameras, and somebody's going. A bishop's going to go. Yep, Bishop Ron Webb's going to go with me, because he's my. We go to the floods. He's my flood co-pastor of the floods. And Mondo, you'll probably go with us. And then the call we got today, what was that?
Don Gibson from Beaumont, Texas.
And their whole city's underwater.
Their whole church is underwater. You can't even walk to it. People are desperately needing water and the food that we have here, the buckets. I mean, you got to understand, when there's no power, there's no refrigeration.
Yeah.
Therefore, what are you going to do with the meats and the cold stuff? You can't do nothing about it. They go spoiled. So they're asking us desperately, in crying, asking us to bring this food right now. So we're working with everyone. We're working with Bishop Ron Webb. We're hoping to work with Convoy of Hope as well, to be able to work together and network together to be able to
Convoy of Hope was kind of born out of all of this, wasn't it?
Yeah. See, Convoy of Hope was founded by Hal Donaldson and Dave Donaldson, Steve Donaldson, and all three of them. I hired all three of them to work for me when we did the Compassionate Touch, the book on Mark Buntain, and all these other things that you launched. So they got their apprenticeship under my operation there in Springfield.
We would go out and speak with them right now. Rallies. We're hoping. I'm ready to start shipping tomorrow.
Yeah.
If I have to take my own supply, if people will help me, this is what we've done before. If I want everybody to be prepared. Now, on our recent programs, we talked about, you know, it was a $175 situation, I think. I got it right here.
Yes, sir.
That this is our big deluxe bucket, and it has 283 servings of food in this amazing. And I thought, that's what the retail on this one is really a lot higher than that. I don't remember what it was. Isn't it like $600 or something?
$645
for the retail. of all this food, months of food in this particular bucket, and you just rehydrate it. And when you order this for $175, then we send the Staying Alive bucket. Yeah. And my team doesn't, Harmony, where are you? I want you.
Oh, Harmony, he wants.
I want you to go to Texas with me in a few hours, okay? Would you do that? And your husband? And I want you, because you're the best instant food chef that we have, really. And I'm going to try to get buckets and buckets of mashed potatoes, because I know these little kids will love these mashed potatoes. And she's the best cook we have around. And she can cook up buckets and big barrels of food and big these great big country kettles, you know, that you cook in. But we need people to stand with us. And here's the thing. If you order this is just the simple one. Now, some of you can order more food. Some of you ought to get ready. Here's the thing. Do you want to go to a coliseum in the middle of the night and live for several weeks or months? Would you like to do that?
No, I wouldn't.
You know, the Osteens told our people, they said, we have no showers in our building. Do you want to hang out with a bunch of people for a month that didn't take a shower?
No.
No, I'm just saying, the only way I'm concerned about all America being prepared for whatever's coming, because I know the perilous days are coming according to the scriptures. I believe more is coming. Yeah. I don't think you know the old vaudeville saying, you ain't seen nothing yet. This is just the beginning. We're going to try to send truckloads of this food that will last. And the thing is, if you had this in your house, even if you had it in the basement in the floodgate, they will float right up to the top of the water. The buckets all float. And then inside, there'll be packets also. And
full of food.
Full of food that lasts 30 years. Not 30 days, not 30 minutes, 30 years. And I need some people to help me. And what we're going to do is, God willing, I'm going to start shipping food before you help me. We have food for you people sitting in this audience. Some of you live here, don't you? I know some of you live here. We have supplies here, so if we have a crisis, we can take care of the people.
That's it.
But we're going to do something I shouldn't do. We're going to dip in, because the crisis is so big that the whole country is going to have to help Texas. Yeah. It's going to have to help these people. It's going to take everybody working together. And we just want to go down and demonstrate to the churches. And we got 3 of the major churches that want help right now. Yeah. And we're getting the trucks. Doug Weed says he got friends with trucks. We're working on getting food to hungry people right now. Yeah. That's what I've been doing all day and all night. And Doug Weeds was meeting with the people that are involved with in fact, the founders of this amazing, right?
Convoy of Hope.
Convoy of Hope.
Last night.
You met with them, and I wanted to get there, and it was Lori's birthday with
Happy
all
birthday,
the family at the hospital.
Yeah.
Lori's 60 years old today. This week, right now, yesterday you turned 60, but there we are at the hospital with Grandma, who's very, 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 very ill, and she's, we're praying that God will give her new life.
Yes.
And the hospital has a special room. This is an amazing hospital that she's in, and all the kids were there. This is just a close-up of us praying, and so we went there and we brought her presents, and we brought all the grandkids, and we are crazy busy. And while this party was going on, I was trying to work with Convoy of Hope at the same time, and all of this. But today, if some of you want to order 7 years of food, you can say, well, I want to give so many years of it. and we'll ship it. We'll take it. We'll get it down there. We'll have people doing it. Would that be a good thing? But some of you need, here, I wish, wait a minute. Can I walk over there? I did not prepare for this show.
You can do whatever
of course,
you
I
want
don't
to do. It's
usually
called the
prepare
Jim
for the
Bakker
shows
Show.
very much. You know, I actually study my guest, but Doug Weed is a mystery man, and you can't study Doug Weed. Doug Weed is the most amazing, articulate speaker in the world, but he has become probably the premier historian, and I'm going to ask him about what about all these statues coming down? What's going on in America? What are we doing with history? Do we have any presidents equal to Donald Trump? You know, but I need to get this food going. There's people that are desperately hungry. There's so many that not one group can take care of it all. But it's up to the church. If every church will start storing food, you know, we have one church, I was told by my staff, that several years ago ordered $1 million worth of food. One of the mega churches. That church is ready to help people right now. And every home should have food. But listen, I'm going to roll that piece with our brother from India. This man literally stepped out of the airplane, and God spoke to him in Houston that Houston would be underwater, would be devastated, I think is the word.
Yeah, massive flooding.
And that they're coming to America. People, we need to be ready. Now, at my house, if a flood comes, I've got generators. I've got several of these. You don't want a gas generator. What did they do at that one big company? They brought in generators, and the water went over the generator.
Yeah.
And now today they've been explosion and chemicals, and they've had to clear for miles around.
Yeah. Peroxide.
This generator, where's the deluxe? This is the deluxe one. Some of you, if you have the fund, you ought to invest in this, and you can finance it if you want. But this will keep your refrigerator running. You can run your refrigerator a few hours a day. But if you have to go to the second floor, you have all this up on the second floor, or bring it up to the second floor. It's all portable.
Yeah.
So you have electricity. Or would you rather go live in a coliseum?
Yeah.
Or if you're in the country, would you rather just run for the hills? In the rain, in the cold.
Yeah.
The Bible says only fools know trouble's coming and they don't prepare. Why am I crying out? Prepare, prepare, prepare. Because somebody put me in prison. The devil meant it for evil, but what did R.T. Kendall say the other day? But God meant it for good. So I studied every word. I know what's coming. This flood didn't shock me. I saw this flood. New Orleans is going to be covered with water. I don't know this week, but it's going to happen. God says it will never come back at one point unless it repents. Do you know when these other, when the huge hurricane hit, do you know what days that hit?
No, tell me.
It hit on the decadent days, the days of the decadent parades and all.
Yes.
What do they call it? Is anybody?
Mardi Gras.
Yeah, it's like Mardi Gras, but they call it decadent. Something decadent. But anyhow, they hit, the hurricane hit, I think it was in Florida, and they were having that parade. And they hit on that day, and then when it was the hit in New Orleans, it started there. God's judgment is coming. It's coming whether we want it or not. And it's not because he hates us. He just wants to wake up America. Yeah. We have mocked God. Yeah. So what does this man say? This Indian man, you got that piece. We're just going to have to roll it.
We came out of the plane and we walked on the bridge. As soon as I stepped foot on Houston Airport, I heard the voice. I think this angel followed me, you know. He said, this city will be destroyed by a massive flood. I thought, oh no. This time, these things really bothered me very much. It has never bothered me in the past. Never. I just didn't know why it bothered me so much. Until 2 days later, when I saw in the news, the nation, the highest legislation in the country, has passed the same-sex marriage law. Then I understood why. Things will come speedily. Speedily. Destruction will come speedily. So all your prayers can save you and your family. But that which has been determined upon the nation.
But I want somebody to order the generator. This is the entire
complete
enchilada.
Special, yeah.
This has a Westinghouse microwave, and it comes with it.
Yes, sir.
So listen, if you have this on top of your floor, or if you have to leave your house and you got a shed somewhere out back and it's up above waterline, if there's a flood coming or whatever, you could, if you have this unit, this is the 300% more power than the last generator we had.
Right.
But you don't have any gas, you don't put gas in it.
Nope.
You run this generator in your house. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
You run this in your house, and then this one comes with a crank on it.
That's if the sun's not shining and the solar panels are unavailable at the time. You can just plug this in and you can crank it.
Step into the light.
Now the reason this is the best deal we have, and why I personally think this is the best deal we have, is because one, it comes with a generator. It also comes with the 2 solar panels and 3 light kit. It comes with this hand crank, but the best part about it.
You're in charge of this at our house.
I am. Hey, I got muscles. I can do it.
Your grandchildren can crank, and until the sun comes back, if you're in a flood, in a stormy sky.
And the thing is, it doesn't take 3 hours to crank.
But you
15,
take
20
this,
minutes.
and you can charge your phones up with that little crank. And
you have
get
USB ports right
charge
here.
It back up, and you can plug your light into it. And this comes with these little lights. These lights are how many watts on these things? They're a couple watts, but they're equal to about 30 or 40 watt, aren't they?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, and they got some little switches. They got 15 feet cords.
Yeah.
Okay, wouldn't you rather, in a crisis, hurricanes, floods, any kind of things, fire from the sky is coming, the Bible says. What does that mean? Well, we won't talk about it today. But these lights come with it, 3 lights. You get 2 solar panels with the deluxe. This is the deluxe deal.
And they are collapsible with a handle, so they're extremely portable.
And so, soon as the sun comes back, you can charge this all on, but you keep it charged up all the time.
Now, we haven't mentioned the fact that it comes with actually a lithium-ion expansion pack for the generator. It's an extra battery.
This one here, this is the deluxe. This big old cord connects.
It connects them. This is purely just a battery.
This is mama and the new baby or daddy, mama and daddy batteries. These connect together, and I'll tell you what, this is a powerhouse. This is the best in the world, and it comes with the.
This is the 3rd generation of the EMP bag. So you just put all of this right inside of there. It fits.
Do you understand that North Korea is planning an EMP bomb for America?
They are.
Are they already circling America?
Twice a day with a satellite.
2 satellites.
And all it would take is just them attaching an EMP to one of those satellites, detonating it somewhat 200 miles above the Earth, right above the middle of the United States.
Matter of fact, that
we would lose power.
That missile they just shot over Japan was right at 300 miles.
And if it's cold, you can take out this blanket.
Yes.
And it's a 12-volt blanket, electric heating blanket. You plug it in here,
right here,
with your cord.
Yes.
It's got just like you plug into a car. You can actually plug this in your car, but here, in this new, amazing fuelless generator, why not be prepared? I mean, Mondo was you almost lost it yesterday, Mondo.
One of the reasons is that for the first time in history, the church had the opportunity to be the first ones to be there, to be prepared before anything happens. And what happened? We were not prepared. We always wait for someone else to do it. We always assume that someone else is going to take care of us. We always assume that people are going to be there for us, except for the fact that they're not there. They can't get there fast enough. People cannot get there to save other people. And what happens? We need to be there. We ought to be the crisis
center. And everybody should have their own home prepared.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Every church should be prepared and protect themselves.
Absolutely.
The God of heaven said, those who see trouble coming and do nothing, he calls them fools. He said they're foolish. They're
You know,
foolish.
Pastor Jim, what we're seeing on the news with the hurricane is that the government is asking for help. And imagine, you know, like we've been talking about, if you're prepared, you can be help to other people. If you have a generator, you could help people to charge their cell phones so that way that they can call to their family and let them know that they're okay.
And this special today, this is the full deluxe two solar panels. It has
comes with a tactical flashlight.
That's a
Don't turn it on
tactical.
yet.
It's as bright can be.
Oh, it's
Yes.
bright.
And it's but that comes with it.
It does.
And you have
Also a microwave, so that you're able to cook food, you're able to heat water. You can.
but the big thing is this power plant. This is, as far as we know, the most powerful of this type of solar generators.
Absolutely.
If you got a big screen TV and the power is out there at your house, you plug your big screen TV into this unit. You plug the direct TV box into this unit.
Yeah.
You got the power to run your big TV.
Your computers.
So, while everybody's in the dark, you're watching what's going on. You don't have to put your big TV in it, put a little TV in it. You know, I like using, that's why this particular Westinghouse unit,
Microwave. Yeah.
microwave,
Low wattage.
this is the lowest wattage that you can buy that we know of.
Yes.
And so that's why we're sending you, do you know the exact wattage on that? I think it's
600 watts.
it's a 600 watt.
Yep.
And that will run a long time off this in-house. But this generator, do you know what's, I don't know if somebody's right or wrong, but I just got a call before I came on the show. And they said, Jim, you better fill up all the cars with gas at Morningside. They said they're running out of gas all over. I don't know. I didn't see it on the news. I just got a friend who says, we're going to gas stations and there's no gas.
Matter.
Well, I have a lot of friends in Dallas, and the Dallas gas stations, which is roughly 400 miles away from Houston, they're running out of gas.
Matter of fact, the biggest oil refinery in our nation, which produces 16% of our oil, is shut down right now because of the hurricane.
So, but why wouldn't you fill your car up with gas if you're going to run? If you thought you were going to run out of gas, wouldn't that be smart?
Yeah.
This unit doesn't take gas.
No. It runs.
This unit doesn't take oil.
No.
This thing can sit in your bedroom. We got them in our bedroom. We've got them in our living room. We have chests. Our coffee tables are secret chests
Yes.
with generators in them.
Yes.
So the other day when the power was out, I was complaining. I thought, oh, I wish they'd get the power fixed. I want to see what's going on in the news. And all of a sudden, bam, the light bulb goes off in my old head. And I go over and get the cord from my TV and plug it in. I have this. All I did is open a chest in my living room, you know, a trunk like. And I leave them sitting in there. Then I leave them inside this. So if the EMP hits, it won't destroy my generator.
You know,
So
Pastor,
I'm sitting there watching full color television from the satellites in the sky that's coming down.
Yes.
But this is just one thing. But what I want everyone to do is, you know, the water bottles. We did the water bottles. We have a deal for 6 of the most powerful water bottles we have.
Extreme Satial water bottles. And I think you have to realize there's 3 big essentials that you need. One is power, water, and then food. You got to have all those 3 in order to make them work. But you can bring those water bottles right here. We want to show you This is what people need right now. And people are thirsty. People are dying of thirst.
And even with atomic fallout.
That's right, radiation.
Radiation. This filters radiation.
Absolutely.
These people that are walking through the floods right now, if they all had this in their house, all they'd have to do is while they're walking with water up to their waist, the water they're walking through, just go down like this, scoot it up.
Yes.
And put it in there and put this in, this big, huge filter. There, take that yellow tab off, put it there, and you're having fresh, pure, takes out 99.999 of all contaminants.
Absolutely. And that filters out, so many things. And like you said, that is an essential thing. You have to have water to survive. You have to have clean water to survive, especially in flood zones. You don't know what's being contaminated because the flood's overtaking the sewage systems and things like that. So that's being integrated with the water.
I'm going to do this. I want you to have these in your house as much as possible.
Have them in your car,
backpacks. Listen, for every set that gets ordered today, I want you to put it in your house.
There you go.
The real solution, people, is everybody be prepared.
That's it.
Everybody.
Now,
why die from you can only live 3 or 4 days without water.
Now, if they ordered the bottles and wanted to send them down to the victims of Hurricane Harvey, could they do that?
Well, yeah, they can do anything.
Okay.
You can just tell us go on the 800 number, go on the and write it out on the online. But here's the thing: I have a new idea.
Oh.
We just talked to the factory.
Yes.
They've got a bottle that is in the warehouse made up. And what I'm going to do, I've got a new
deal,
a new development of water bottles. I want you to take these and put them in your house.
Yeah.
But if you want to add, let's cut it way down as we can, $100. We will send 6 bottles that do the same thing, the full. What do you call these? The
extreme.
This is the extreme.
That's right, the extreme survival water bottle.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give 6, and I'm trying to get them in the trucks in the next 24 hours.
Okay.
So I need your help. I need people to call and do it. And as soon as you call, without it all going through the rigmarole, we're gonna take out of our stock and we're gonna put it in there, and we're taking the trucks down. So $225. They'll get these 6 of the biggest tough bottles, and then the new bottle.
The other 6 will go on the trucks down to the victims.
We have some in stock already now. They're coming in. They're in the factory. We've been working on this, and they're going to be able to. So let's just say for $225, you get 6 of these bottles, and then the newer model, which is it's a few ounces less than this one, but it purifies water. That's all. It does the same thing. We're going to do it for $100.
Wow.
For 6 more. Literally, these 6 bottles would create hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of bottled water.
That's right.
Yes.
And the purification is beyond what most bottled waters have in them.
Oh, absolutely. It filters out 99.9999% of all.
All right. And then if anyone's interested today in the generator, this is our deluxe tasty pantry food. For those who have never prepared, this is the thing. This is our deluxe, our finest food we have, and this is 7 years of food. Can you imagine? You say, oh, we'll never use 7 years. Well, I'll tell you what. If you have 7 kids, you got 1 year of food. So this is 7 years of food for one person.
Yes.
So you can add to it. You can, mix it. This is the most deluxe food we've ever offered. And we have honey wheat bread in here, black bean burger, cheese pizza, creamy stroganoff, fettuccine alfredo, Italian marinara, macaroni and cheese, creamy chicken and rice, Spanish rice, cheese broccoli rice, white rice, instant potatoes, mashed potatoes, hearty vegetables, chicken soup, creamy potato soup, one of Lori's favorites, And then there's even a dessert, chocolate pudding, and then morning moose, milk. This is milk that lasts 30 years.
That's right.
Now, this is something that becomes an instant witnessing tool if there is an event. If a church were to get something like this, because people might not like the church, but when an event happens, people look to the church for their temporary salvation in that sense.
But yeah, and if you have 7 years of food, Rick, you can share with people in your church. You can share
Absolutely.
with people on the street. But you're ready.
Yes.
You're prepared. You don't have to go somewhere and stay with people.
Or stand in, lines for hours and hours
That's
just to
right.
get one meal.
And right here you have the time of trouble offer, and that comes with 10,472 servings of food.
We just talked to one of the largest churches in America.
Yes.
And they don't have a kitchen.
Mm-mm.
They said we can't fix the food.
Yeah, they weren't built for that. They didn't think about the preparation that would happen if a flood were to happen.
Yeah, but our food, you can prepare it on a grill.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Outdoor grill.
You could prepare it with our generator. All you'd have to do is plug in a pot, and you'd be ready to start
right.
cooking.
And so we're going to be taking food there.
Yes.
And then we have the 1 year for Tasty Pantry, which is this amazing deluxe food.
And that is for 1,496 servings of food. So that comes down to 4 buckets right here.
And so this would come to your house when you order this Tasty Pantry deluxe food. Pancakes, bean burgers, fettuccine, Alfredo, Italiano marinara. I like Italian food. And black bean burgers. So you got your own hamburgers and all. And you can make bread.
That's right.
Out of part of this, you can mix up bread, and then you can make hamburger buns if you want out of it. Mm-hmm. So you got a hamburger in perilous times, you know. But all of this deluxe food comes for 2 full years of food.
That's right.
And for any short-term emergency, that would last for your whole family.
And you can store this pretty easily in your basement and be ready for that moment that you need to be able to help your family and friends.
The food companies, they can't make food fast enough now.
No, they can't.
And I warned people to get ready ahead of time. But we're taking out of the food, the supplies for our own people here to help down there right away. But our food companies are going into high gear.
Yes, they are.
And they're amazing. They're amazing.
That's why people need to get on the phone right now, go to the website right now, get involved, because the wait is going to be too long. And we need to get out there right now.
What happens if there's a earthquake, big earthquakes?
Listen, look, we learned what happened with Japan. What happened was it took over 6 months before the order can come in. If an earthquake takes place right now, it can be almost a year to 2 years, maybe 6 years. So they're kind of worried that if we don't start doing something right now, the food may not even be ready in a year or 2 years.
People laugh about being prepared.
Yes, they do.
But the people, I'll guarantee you, we're going to be hearing from some of our partners that have all this food because they're prepared. It's time to be ready. Now, the 6 new ones that have just been produced, this is the Easy Gulp water bottle. And it takes out all, and they've taken the filter on this one, and they put it up. You see it there? It's the same filter. It's up top. And so you put your rainwater in there, and then it snaps up and down the close, and the water just pours out, so you can drink.
That's right.
Easily.
Drink fast.
That's it. Convenient.
I may
fast.
even convert over to this one because I like to I need to drink a lot of water at my age. You need to drink a lot of water. So so this would be something. So help with this emergency situation, and we're getting the trucks ready, and we need people to help. But you be ready.
That's it.
You have no idea. They're talking about another hurricane coming. They don't know where it's going to hit.
That's right.
And they say there's going to be more hurricanes this year than in a long, long time.
But the problem comes after the rain, right? What happens with all these people? They're displaced. They can't go back home. Mold is building up. That's the scary part. I think there's 2 parts to what we're seeing. What's happening right now with the floods, and then the aftermath. you have to have a planned aftermath, right? Otherwise, people are going to die. What happened here in Branson? We had to find a place. Remember the hotel that we were using several years ago? We had to house people there from Katrina. And they're going to be asking people from all over America. There's not enough housing to house 100,000 people, let alone 500,000 people. So they're going to be asking, just like they did in Katrina, for a lot of the states to take what they call refugees. Can you imagine Houstonians being refugees in America? We don't think about that. But they're going to be asking the states around Texas to take some of these people, and hopefully we have a plan when they get here. I started talking to the mayor in Branson to figure out, do we have a plan? What can we do to be a part of that plan? Therefore, we're not caught unaware to what to do when the people arrive. So go to the phones right now. Stand with us. Order the food. Order the water bottles. Get yourself a generator. Get yourself a plan. So when something hits, you talked about it this morning. You were almost screaming at me. When the crisis come, are you prepared? Where are you going to go? You asked me. Remember that? Where are you going to go? Where are you going to take the kids? You know what I said?
Yeah.
I said, Dad, I'm coming to your house.
That's right.
The phone, you stay silent for a second, but you know what? You said, you're right. That's what I'm here for.
Would you want your two kids having to live in a coliseum for several months?
Absolutely not.
I mean, that's cover over your head. Yeah. That's about as far as, and you got public bathrooms there, and that's about all you really have.
You talk about private, you're losing privacy. You're losing the luxury that you have at home. You're losing everything.
They say people are already screaming at each other.
Yeah. Oh, you can see it on the news. People cussing at each other. People are they're full of stress. Why? They have no comfort. Again, I think about John Shorey, and Mom always talks about this. You got to have comfort food to settle down. A little bit of sugar can help somebody just to settle down so they can come to their senses and realize, oh, my Lord, I have lost everything. What am I going to do next?
Please, order your food, and if you can help, let's send a truckload of food and water supplies and all to the flood zone there in Houston and area of Texas. Remember that God loves you. Our number is 888-988-1588. It's toll free. Or go to the website. Everything's there. All the different food products are there that you can order.
Make sure and call us again, 888-988-1588, or go to our website, jimbakkershow.com. You can still write us at P.O. Box 7330, Branson, Missouri 65615.
God bless you. God loves you. He really does. Bye-bye for today.
Bye-bye. We love you.
Call now, 1-888-988-1588. And you can write Pastor Jim at P.O. Box 7330, Branson, Missouri 65615. You can also order this offer right now on our website at jimbakkershow.com. Thank you so much for your prayers and donations. You are the reason we can keep broadcasting around the world.